Hey, what to do, love doves? It's your girl Indigo jumping on. If this is your first time, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. Just this is really just like just a general test, and I'll probably, I can't help myself. If you do know anything about me, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something. But just kind of see what the flow is. This is kind of like it's like I guess it's going on 4 a.m. and everything like that. Um, your girl ain't been doing the marijuana, the marijuana, and just being whatever. I don't really like labels, but there's something about know thyself and everything like that. So just from just living long enough to live long enough. Um, if you've seen any other past content or whatever, um, I have ADHD. I'm on the spectrum, autism. So my sleeping patterns are definitely if they're not being manipulated, I don't sleep. Don't sleep. So I had you know uh partake in the devil's lettuce for some time at some point in time, and that was helping me to regulate my sleep pattern. But you know, as God bids and everything like that. Shout out to the big God and everything. Apparently, sacrifice is the name of the game. And everything, and your temple's supposed to be squeaky clean as much as possible. So, 2 minutes in, I want to say Happy New Year. Happy New Year. We just passed the spring equinox. Happy New Year. This energetically, I'm an energetically sensitive person, ESP. This feels like a beginning. Energetically feels like a beginning. So I'm gonna go back to playing around with my stuff and everything. Oh, they got overlays now. That's good. That's kind of cool. Use to add overlay. Okay, so I don't interior encoder, add a browser source. What's it? Okay, all right, something new to learn. Before going live, test the overlay by navigating to a stream dashboard. Okay, okay, new stuff, new stuff. All new things, new year, new things, new time, not zone, but we spring forward and all that good stuff. Excuse me. Things have switched around, haven't they? Okay, edit. Okay. I guess I could be playing some music. 1 second. 1 second. Mm. Okay. So, all right. How are y'all feeling out there? How are you feeling? No, that's not the right word. We want copyright free. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. There we go. They're like, since we can't do it, we're gonna. Nope, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. There we go. Okay, we're just gonna close that out. Being sabotaged. How y'all doing with this Mercury retrograde? Huh? You okay? Have you gotten the hang of it yet? It's really, really to remind you about your boundaries. People coming, trying to blast from the past. They trying to Brendan Fraser you and everything. And trying to BF you, BS you. Just put on that helmet, put on that breastplate, put on that belt, put on them shoes. Hit your Mr. Rogers and everything like that. Um, Pick up your sword and make sure you got that shield. You know what I'm saying? Every day you gotta put it on. Every day. It's wild. Like and it's only amping up. And it's only amping up, Only amping up. There we go. How about this? Only amping up. It is not. so so I don't know if anybody's been experiencing ascension symptoms or even know what that is, but if you are and you do, has anybody noticed that they've gotten like way more like sensitive to like I mean I still curse for sure, like for sure. Like I'm still everyone's a different part. Like it's like the Avatar, the Airbender, Aang, and stuff like that. If you know about that, nerdy enough, young enough, old enough, who knows? But every Avatar that reincarnated had different skill sets that they had to, acquire, learn, or different things. So Aang, the current one that the series, that the series started off with, he was an airbender, and everything. Well, I think if I'm accurate, but the main thing is everybody has different things to learn and acquire and work on, and we're all different puzzle pieces and things sticking out and inverting at different angles and all that other stuff so that we can all like fit together. You got something I need, I got something you need, and all of that good stuff, kumbaya and everything like that. So I mean, just because somebody curses and somebody don't curse, that's not what. That's why I say do not judge, because we're all here on different assignments to do different things with different things to learn. You know what I'm saying? But just in general, just like the external coming in, not necessarily the internal going out. I do find myself being more sensitive to like vulgar language and cursing and stuff like that. Not to say I'm above it or below it or anything like that. Like, and that you won't hear me cursing like a sailor, next Tuesday. Although curse is not necessarily like something big, but whatever. Just not to say it won't happen. You know what I'm saying? Never say never. Like just people. I would never. I would never. You gotta watch out for them. I would never people. I wouldn't. I can't trust them as far. I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them. For real. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't even bother to try. For real. But I would never. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. Next Tuesday, I'm gonna try and turn a blind eye to what you would never do and everything. Like I might not. I might stare directly. I might lift the shades and look you right in your eye and just remind you of when you said you would never. I won't say I won't. I never told you anything, so I can't say I told you so. But hey, man, that I would never stuff. It gets real sticky. It gets real sticky. Let me see. I'm still looking for appropriate music, but yeah, that one curse word threw me off and everything. This is 4 minutes. We're gonna want like maybe a longer one. Well, I'm not gonna be on long. I just kind of wanted to play with my toys and my new things. I got new things going on. Got a nice little stand here. Got um trying out different things, everything like that. God said don't quit. So here I am. I know he be shaking his head at me like Well, you made me this way. Oh, I'm honest to a fault, to a fault. Like it's hard. Like, but at the end of the day, like, beginning, end of the day or whatever, is like, oh, sorry. But at the beginning, end of the day is like, again with the throat chakra. So like I was saying, when people working on different stuff, right? Different things to work on. Like, I was a very gregarious child, like, growing up or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Let me go back. Mhm. Okay, so multitask. It used to be able you used to be you used to be able to huh, let me see. You used to be able to change, like, the camera and the microphone. I'm not sure if that's something you able to start the live. Let me see. Hopefully, they could at least maybe I shouldn't I'm not gonna say that. See that, and I, and maybe it's what God gave me to keep me close. Like just my mouth, there's pros and cons to it. Definitely gave it to me for a reason. But it's like, man, you know, man, are we ever gonna get, not better, but it's like it's not that I don't have a filter. It's like I just, it's hard not to tell the truth, like to say what I feel and everything. Of course, I modified it, growing up. Learned how to mask and all that good stuff. Just to be able to, fit, fit in with civil society. But it's labor, you know. Definitely aware of it. Mm-hmm. It's not about me. It's so good. Okay, so interesting. Man, hmm. Change level settings. Interesting. Okay, so this is all stuff like they don't. I mean, in general, they don't really let you um, access to. Okay, in general, they don't really let you like fix stuff before you get on. Like I have to live my life to just figure this stuff out. Okay. Channel level settings. About what they expect me to at 4 a.m. I would think that might be a good share. Well, and definitely sorry guys, it just definitely looks different when I did it. I thought there was a place where I could change the camera, but I guess I'm stuck with this camera. And I do want to try out this microphone. I didn't really register it when I was then. I always just reached out to things that I was like, no, people do it. Yeah, I'm doing it. Camera looks good. Light. I don't know, I guess that's so. I gotta move. Put it right here. I don't know. I gotta. Gotta figure out how to. It's for you know your ambition. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let me lock in real quick. Give me a good 2030. 2030 before I allow myself to go in. This is like, what I'm saying? I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't even know. Man, that's why I'm so not visible. Like, man, it's been a time. Like it's been a time. Like we're getting to what next week is the last week of March. We just had daylight savings. We just had the spring equinox was like 2 days ago. We had a full moon eclipse into a dead end eclipse season. It's Mercury retrograde. We had Lent, beginning of this month. We have currently in Ramadan, and there have been a few Jewish holidays. There was the fast day, Purim. I'm not too abreast, but I am educating myself about the Jewish holidays or whatever. Because Jesus was a Jew. It was a large part of his life, and just doesn't make sense to live in a cave, live in a vacuum, live under a rock, you know, any enclosed space that's going to keep you from information that might be able to better your life. Yeah, so this month has been, I mean, it's almost, how to describe it, I've been thinking about it as I've been going through it, going through real warm my boat, through the energetic upgrades and ascension symptoms. OMG, just meet somebody and it's their confirmation. Bless you. You know what I'm saying? Bless you because you've been doing great. You've been doing a wonderful job. You're still here so strong. Antoine Fisher, you are doing it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't right now. Honestly, right now everything that I just said, eclipse season, Ramadan, Lent, religious considerations, and Ramadan, for those that do not know, it's when people who identify as Muslims, part of the Islamic faith, they fast for 30 days, 30 straight days. That means from sun down, sun up to sundown. So during the daytime, and then we just had, what I'm saying, daylight savings where they lost an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like we are being stretched, like new wine skins. Like, oh my gosh, what I'm saying? Being prepared for, what I'm saying, for to go in and everything. So it's the best of times and the worst of times. You know what I'm saying? With the worst of times, it's the best of times. But, I'm saying? Feast and famine. Just definitely coming out of the February, the duality of February being a number 2 month. Daily decisions, daily disciplines was really just coming out of that last quarter. Really rounding out the last quarter, like the winter time and everything like that. We are officially in spring. Spring has officially sprung, thank God, and everything. So we're in the beginning, we're in transition, you know what I'm saying? So we're transitioning from one season to another. We're transitioning from one year to another. We're transitioning from, like the holiday season, you know what I'm saying? Like that's all these fat holiday seasons up to Valentine's Day. You know what I'm saying? What's the main thing you be doing on Valentine's Day? Buying people, chocolate and sugary sweets and everything like that. Even with St. Patrick's Day, that's mostly like that vice could attach to that holiday is drinking, alcohol, you know what I'm saying, to excess and everything. And so we're coming out of that. We don't really, for the next foreseeable future, we don't really have, any indulgent holidays coming up. Of course, there's Easter, and the big thing with Easter, yeah, you get a little bit of chocolate, but not as much as like Halloween or Valentine's Day, B-Day. But mostly it's like around eggs and we're in spring now, so like that like Easter's not really that heavy on indulgence like that. And honestly, it is tied to the resurrection of Jesus, so it's just like it is a celebration, but not it's a, for most part it's usurped as a pagan holiday, but really it does have religious ramifications for Christians. Um, Maybe not do too much. Like I'm still learning. I'm educating myself. I'm still learning to educate myself. Hello and everything. Like just like just being just identifying as Christian, and then like okay, where do the Catholics fit in? Where do the Jews fit in? Where do the Muslims fit in and everything like that? Like everybody has you know, certain core key similarities and everything, but it's like, okay, so what I'm saying? Like, and then these are power structures as well. These are organizations, entities, bodies, and power structures, so there's just different facets to them. And so just trying to figure out what all that fits, what I'm saying? Like Jesus was a Jew. Like so you can't just be like, I'm Christian, so I don't care about the Jewish faith. It's like the beginning of my faith, whoever who I'm following, and who means something to me, this was a big part of his life, so at least I should know about it, you know what I'm saying? And then Catholics, like, okay, are they Christian? Like, like what they can like they believe in Jesus, but it's like in a different whole other different kind of way. And they seem to have different fruits and different results. So I'm just educating myself, and everything just to be informed because again it doesn't pay to live without you. It doesn't pay to live you know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't make sense. Like life is so expensive and there's so much division and everything like that. Like why contribute to it? You know what I'm saying? Like if we could come somehow find the connection while maintaining our individual identity, I'm always gonna advocate for the individual being able to express themselves because one individual not being able to express themselves, like just one, it is, what I'm saying, like it's a symptom of a sick society. It really is, We come here, God gave us something, and each of us like a gift to be able to bring to the world and to share with others and to actually, and to give Him glory through it. So having a society where that caps that, starting at young ages is sick. It's sick. It's unconscionable, inhumane, and everything. Everyone has a voice, and everyone should be able to voice it. And then anyone who wants to cut off your voice, first thing they attack is your ability to speak up for yourself, so that you feel ashamed. You know what I'm saying? You feel ashamed. You feel guilt. You feel this, that, and the third, and all these things start hindering you. They start scabbing up your heart so that you can't share your gift. So I'm always going to advocate for the individual being able to express themselves to the best of their ability. You want to call yourself a tomato? Okay. Don't try to force me to see a tomato where I don't see a tomato, but I can respect your right to call yourself a tomato. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really not. It don't take nothing from me. Like, but don't impede upon me. Don't impede upon me and try to make your reality my reality. Like I can respect your ability to create your own reality, you know, and to whatever degree that I can acclimate and accommodate whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not to no crazy degree though. It's not like okay, everybody see a tomato now. You know what I'm saying? Like no, but people just need to just mix up this stuff with a degree of reasonableness and everything. But yeah, to be able to express yourself, you should be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? That should be capped. Like yeah, I don't have to. I don't have to put nobody into my stuff. I can just be like, this is my stuff. Leave it alone. And call it a day. You know what I'm saying? And everything. Treat honestly. Go to the room. Go to the room. Just uncomplicates all of that. Go to the room. Uncomplicates all of that. Treat others the way you like to be treated. You know, period, point blank. Does it don't matter if it's never happened to you or you would never, you would never, I would never. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. Oh, it's just funny. I would never, you know what I'm saying? Um, mm, right, okay. So I would never, and stuff like that. I had a break for it. It's funny. But yeah, man, where was I? See, I gotta do the work so I can earn the right to sleep. Gotta earn these right here. But oh yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like just just like even with different religions and different ways of expressing religion and all that stuff, like even within Christianity, there's division, and I never really truly understood the what is it called? Denomination. I never understood that. I historically I do know a little bit historically. Where my brain works is not it doesn't recall dates and stuff like that. So I don't even try to get into that, but I do know a lot about a lot of things. Um, but historically it does look like along the way, there was like political motivations, there was um societal, like different impacts on society, like different degrees of like poverty and power structures and everything like that have had their impact and effect on like when the denomination started for what and why and what motivated and then what the what was it called? What the like not impact but what the results, like what the like yeah, results, like the impact of actions were, like there were crusades being done in God's name, stuff like that. And where, the precedents were set and, things that were done. Um, like history has its now we're at a time where it's like, okay, people are looking at the residual effects of all of that and what the so here we are today. Like, I feel like okay, so the macro and the micro. So I was talking about like the month and how the month of March and how there's so much uh being is it transmuted? Like there's just so much in this month alone that has like such overarching spiritual implications. That's the word, implications. Um, like the star, eclipse and spring equinox and um, things of that nature. The spring chord, like those are like temporal things like that have impacts on us as humans. It's a part of this whole big structure, but they also have spiritual implications as well. So the fact that we have all this religious activity going on within this 1 month, in addition to these um, um, these temporal events, it's like it's kind of just like the perfect, like the ingredients for the perfect storm. Like it's like the quiet before the storm. It's like the storm building up, you know, and the players are taking their place on the board. The people that are allowing themselves to be distracted because it honestly that's just the stuff I'm thinking of. On the flip side and on the broader 3D um, spectrum and societal realm, there I'm well aware that there's nonsense and malarkey running rampant. You know what I'm saying? and everything like that. So, yeah, distractions galore. Just pick your poison, just pick your poison. Stocks doing the um, political, opponents, just saying whatever out their mouths and everything like that. Like it is what it is. Making promises, lying, all the same, whatever. Um, Coming through, not coming through, it really don't matter. You know what I'm saying? People have a pot to pee in. Some people losing their jobs, getting bad litigation left and right. Global leaders, playing musical chairs. Like I mean, like pick your poison. You know what I'm saying? Like really pick your poison. Like I'm not gonna sit here and sit in Delusion that that's what I'm saying. That is on the 3D side, and on the other side, the transition, the transitional, transcendental, the transmutational, just the train trans. um, man, it's like people getting on escalators. It's going up or it's going down. You know what I'm saying? People are just on their escalators and stuff like that. So, people have February. You was laying the groundwork. When you could, as things were lightening up, planting your seeds. As you had more daylight to do so, but it was still kind of like a uphill battle, uphill struggle. Um, and so now it's just like it really is like it really is. They've been talking about this divide for a few years now, and it's really happening. It's really happening for those. I mean, yeah, like for those with the wherewithal, with the ability to um, to see. Um, it's happening, man. It's happening. Like I don't know what else to say. We're in it. Like we are in the precipice. Like the perfect storm is being molded, and I mean, and everything we can't even. That's what I'm saying. Like I've been educating myself on the history. Like you need to really know your history of what got us here, so you can have the autonomy and the ability to decide where you're going, where you and your family are going. Otherwise, it's going to be decided for you. It's not a game. It's really not a game. So what I'm saying, it's happening right here, baby. Like Ramadan wraps up in about a week. March wraps up in about a week. Um, we're going into April, you know what I'm saying? We're going into, Easter. We're headed into Easter. That's Resurrection Sunday, and Jesus, rose from the grave. Like, I mean, if you know it, you know it. If you don't, it's 4 a.m., so I'm not necessarily going to get into all of that. But if you don't, I can't. This I can't. There's a free Bible in every hotel. I can't. But yeah, no. Oh, over to later than 45. But yeah, man, you know, like that's what I'm saying. Like my energy is where it is, not just because I'm in the spot, but it's taken a lot of acceptance of what's going on, a lot of understanding of what's going on, and acceptance and understanding are not the same thing. People can understand what's going on and not accept it. People can accept what's going on and not fully understand it. So being able to do both, and integrating that is a good focus, something good to focus on. I would think. Um, Grounding, working on grounding yourself. Like the only thing you can control, you can't control the economy, you can't control the politicians, you can't control. Honestly, you can't control your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like really, that shouldn't be the goal. Controlling your kids shouldn't be the goal. It really should just be, nurturing and guiding. Discipline is not control. It shouldn't be. Discipline can be negative. I'm thinking enough parenting classes to know like it was not part of my upbringing. I've taken enough parenting classes to know, and healed at least enough to know, that and it was quite the revelation to me that discipline, you know, could be positive, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's great, and I and to a large degree, it was very, imperative that I come across particular, um, that particular knowledge, piece of knowledge as an entrepreneur because, discipline is huge as an entrepreneur. You can't get anything done if you can't commit, if you can't be very, the level that your business, can grow in itself is the level that you develop yourself, you know what I'm saying? So, just, readers are readers, and so, sometimes you do have to take that hiatus and actually just, like, be able to, pour into yourself and give your body what it needs, give your mind what it needs, make space for your emotions, because sometimes when you're in that running season, when you're doing those mad dashes, for months at a time, weeks at a time, and even years at a time sometimes, just really just, digging in. And those that know what I'm talking about. Those that don't, okay. you know. But again, indicative of the escalators we decide to get ourselves on. You know what I'm saying? Are you going up or are you going down? Like, really, either way, there's not going to be like, what I'm saying. There's not going to be a floor to stay on. You're going to have to leave the floor you're on, and you're going up or you're going down. Like, changes are afoot. Large degree, and even in and even in a few months, the advances in technology. Like, I mean, technology is advancing at such a rapid pace, at a rapid rate. At this point, AI is creating AI. You know what I'm saying? Like, AI is being used to create AI. New tech companies, code and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, like it is being, for the escalators, they were going like this, but now they're moving at Mach 3 speed. You know what I'm saying? And everything. So, and this we're just in March, so just from just the projection alone, just the projection alone, it's like in 3 to 6 months, it's really not no games should be being played right now. Like, no games can be played right now. So that's why I said, like, right now during eclipse season, during Mercury retrograde, during people fast, cleaning out their system. Some people are, getting in the spring. You got about, this is the next quarter, really start working on your summer body. Like that's what people, so do. It's like New Year's all over again. You can reset. If you're one of those people that still do New Year's in January and stuff, which is a lot of people, like that's we did the Chinese New Year. At least you're a little like the Eastern Hemisphere, and you know what I'm saying. So they do the metric system. They over there doing Celsius and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Western Hemisphere, we over here still doing Fahrenheit and what's the other one? What's metric? I forget what it's called. Honestly, as a Westerner, it don't make sense, never made sense, just causes confusion. I'm not sure why we even subscribe to that other one thing. Like, it's to me, if I'm not mistaken, metric is like based on like measures of, which just makes sense. You know what I'm saying? You got point this, that, at the top of it. And then our education system ain't even at home about if we could. Like, let's go here on that down. You know what I'm saying? Not preparing people for the future, but then it's just like we have teachers that aren't even motivated. Like, literally, my daughter's teacher literally said to his class, literally, like, no, she's not a man that she should lie. She came home and told me that his teacher said that even if he doesn't do a good job, or if he doesn't teach them, he's still gonna get a paycheck. It's a white man in predominantly, black neighborhood and stuff, like black community and everything like that. Telling these young black kids this, and that it's disheartening. you know. Why am I smiling? Why am I, very much the pearls and all this other stuff? Is because as as a as an independent thinker, mover, and shaker, entrepreneur, it's just fueling my tank. It's just fueling my tank. Just one more indicator of just like where we're headed, where we are, where we're headed as a society, and the moves that need to be made in the next, few months to a year. Like if we even have a year left, I'm skeptical that there's a year left, before things really hit the fan. Like people are starting to wear the MASKs again and everything. And yeah, I'm not liking it. Yeah, I'm not digging it, not digging it. Not digging it. Especially when there was too much left unsaid and uncovered and unapologized for from the last round. Like, oh, thank you, man. Oh, sir. Like, I don't know. Man. So, but to each literally, and I know it's no hanging fruit, but literally to each his own. Because you can't control nobody but yourself. So just focusing on your, you know, so just learning to focus on your grounding, your daily disciplines, like focusing on discipline as the overarching theme for your life. How can you put more discipline into what you're doing? And this is not just this is beyond. Oh, I just this is beyond. Oh, I just but this is beyond the oh, I just I just do my job, thinking or whatever. Like that's not discipline. That's um, no, discipline is using your sovereign right to do for self and decide that you're going to be on the up escalator versus the down escalator. Because if you're not advancing, you're if you're not advancing, you're regressing. That's it. And so that could that's again we all have different things to work on. So it's very difficult, just a general, message or just general, broadcast to be very specific. But I've talked about these things before. Just like honestly, just give yourself the permission to get back into your childlike energy and your childlike mindset, your childlike space. If you didn't have a childhood, because some of us didn't, some of us are just walking around in adult bodies, having haven't had a negative child experience or a negated child experience, no child experience at all. You know what I'm saying? Just forced to just grow up right then and there emotionally. You can't really do it mentally because if you're a 5 year old experiencing things, you still got a 5 year old mind experiencing things. But you can't be made to, mature faster than you should have, you know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, like sometimes if something we all gotta start at different places. Some of us had good childhoods and they were just missing. It is what it is. But finding sitting down and just figuring out, you know, do I need to give myself a childhood? Like do I need to redo it, learn it. Do I need to learn how to parent myself because the parenting that I received, was lackluster or it just had some gaps. Now I'm my parent, or maybe I don't. In my parents' past, there's just so many scenarios. There's 8 billion people in the world. There's just so many scenarios what it could be. So the just general thing would just be sitting down and just doing, just doing an analysis, just doing it, check it. You know what I'm saying? Just do an audit. Do an audit. Because at the end of the day, like if you're going to ground yourself, it's just listening to the next person and what helps them is not necessarily going to help you. So you have to be kind of open minded. And we are going into a new time. We are going into a new just we're in the age of we're in a whole new age, astrological based age. You know what I'm saying? And just AI is changing things. Like things are changing, and everything. So it might just be you need to come up with something for your specific situation, and it like that had. didn't exist, that you need to, be able to be innovative with your food solutions. And that might be it. Solution that you can then share with people like you, because that didn't exist until you put it into, fruition. And that brings me full circle to be able to express ourselves and bring our gifts to masses, you know what I'm saying, to the population, to, something to share with the world, again, going back to God, because He planted that seed with you, He really planted that gift with you. He gave you that problem so you could find a solution so you could share it with the others, and it was going to only come from you, you know. So that's where we're at right now. It's the best of times, it's the worst of times, and it really just depends on your perspective. The cool part is you as a sovereign being, as a separate entity from everything that's going on, you have the ability to choose what to choose. We have daily decisions, and they're based on the daily disciplines that we choose to engage in. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I think I done squeezed the juice enough, and then I'm gonna jump back on. Just different aspects. Just be ready for the rollout. That's all. I'm still not gonna say too much like that to people interested in that. Enough people supporting. That has a recipe for disaster, negated experiences and stuff like that. So we just gonna keep it pushing, keep it positive, keep it pretty and everything. And yeah, gonna be signing off. Again, if you like the vibe, subscribe. You know, if you care, you care. And like it, you like. And everything. So saying all those things because sometimes people have to be asked and reminded that that type of support is all free. It's all free, especially if you made it this far. And, the beginning was a little choppy, and I know all the tidbits and to dos and tips and everything like that. I don't think I did any of them. And everything. And it's where it's at. But I did have on my whiteboard. I will end here. I did have my whiteboard, but I did erase it. But start where you're at. So I think that's very important to end on. I should probably start with, but hey, this is where I was very beginning. Start where you're at. Okay. So there's nowhere else to start. You have to start exactly where you are and then go from there. And you have to get into your childlike mindset of curiosity, exploration. There's more ahead of you than behind you, and that can start exactly where you're at now with all the power that you have. All your power to bring the past into the present and have the future that you decide you want for yourself, or that you're curious to see what you even want. I didn't know what I wanted, so all these years I just been playing just to learn. You have to play. You have to get into that play mindset to learn. Playing is learning. That's how you educate ourselves. That's pretty much with our whole early childhood. If you had one, if you had a decent one, what I'm saying? Wasn't thrown out into the mines, child labor has been, legal for a good amount of time that we know of, you know what I'm saying? But outside of that, we're signing off energetically, loving everybody, okay? Um, do you, baby boo? I'm gonna just wrap up. Daily decisions, of the daily disciplines, and start where you're at, okay? And just get into as much as possible. Forgive yourself, give yourself permission to express yourself in the way that feels, it's not going to feel natural at first because you haven't been doing it, but in a way that feels authentic to you. You can develop authenticity, but you have to know who you are. So start wherever you are. If you know who you are, start being authentic. If you don't know who you are, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? If you're already being authentic, amp it up, man. Share it with the others. Whatever's working for you, just share it. It might work for somebody else, but everything's not going to work for everybody. Okay? So again, gonna be signing off energetic, loving everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Sunday. And yeah, let's go. Let's get it.